advantages were the fact of knowledge of this team, having seen them the past 2 years, as opposed to studying them off the film. Do you think that helps you at all in getting ready for this offense?
I think it's just affirmation that they're a very talented team, a lot of experience. Coach Fisher does a great job calling plays and putting them in position to be successful. So, you have that kind of familiarity with them. It's certainly better than not knowing anything coming in line, that's for sure. Having been in the venue down there last year, it'll be the same type of setting. It'll be a fantastic atmosphere. Very intense atmosphere, and a lot will be on the line and at stake. So that's exciting. The challenge of it, thinking about it, and that's a lot of coaches and players coach and play in this profession, and they don't have the opportunity to be on that kind of a stage. And it's very, very exciting.
Coach, how do you go about managing emotions? Because Florida State does have big play potential. How do you sort of avoid the highs and the lows in the middle of the game to sort of stay?
It's like any game. You coach them all the same, to be honest. And there's a certain level of expectation, and you're looking for execution, and you're looking for guys staying focused and playing within the confines of the system. So it doesn't, for me personally, it doesn't change regardless of who the opponent is, to be honest with you.
You have to often get ready for two dimension. These guys can option you, they can spread it out, but with really elite athletes, that just kind of adds to the challenge.
Sure, yeah. I mean, they're all, and you recruit players, you try to recruit the biggest, strongest, fastest at every position, and they got them all. They got a monopoly on them, well, most of them. Yeah, I mean, that just, the margin for error is very low, again, when you play an opponent like Florida State.
You made a comment after the Furman game that they might have to change the scoreboard lights or something if you guys didn't get certain things rectified defensively. How confident are you now a few days into your preparation?
Well, we'll see.
State?
Every game presents its own challenges. It's unique to itself. I think our guys recognize the things that we need to improve at their particular positions or overall as a unit. So, again, every week's different. You'd like to see, progress, in the areas that we need to make progress. And, the biggest thing is the explosive plays. You can't, you're trying to piece things together and improve on all the little things. The explosive plays set you back. And I think it's one of the key factors when you play the game itself, or the explosive plays, who has the most explosive plays, so forth and so on. And sometimes you can lose that battle maybe against a lesser opponent and still win the game, and win the game handily. And but against evenly matched teams, it's going to be a huge deciding factor. So how confident, again, we'll see. I'm excited about seeing our guys put in the work this week, and us coaches putting them in position to be successful and to go down there and execute.
Last year, FSU had some issues with the running game. This year, they seem to have found it. How much more of a challenge does that make it for you as a play caller on the defensive side?
Again, you're handicapped if you can't stop the run. So, and again, I think that's any defensive coordinator's challenge, just to play good defense. Again, you've got to be able to, you got to be strong up front and up the middle of your defense, and when you're not where you need to be, it makes things very difficult. So, that'll be the challenge this week, just to play more consistently and be the more physical team. And you got to tackle well when you get there. So, they're playing really well right now. The backs, the line, looks like they've got good chemistry and cohesion up front, not turning people free, and they're well coached. Rick Trickett's got a very strong reputation at developing offensive line, and so he's doing great things down there. And they got great players too. But just because you have great players doesn't mean you're going to play great. You got to coach them too. So, and they're doing that.
They showed some option the other day. I think obviously they give y'all something to look at, I guess. How much, talk about that, and EJ's also his progression since last year.
I don't think that's probably the exception to the norm anymore in this day and age of the spread offense, if you don't have some style of option involved with your offense. So, that's just one more challenge that they present. I think that's why they're successful, and that's why they're not the top 5 team in the country, and probably I don't even know what their stats are. I don't even look at that stuff. I just watch them on tape. They're pretty good. Saturday night. So they've got a lot of issues that they present you with, their ability to throw it, their ability to get on top of you, their ability to take a hand off in the A gap and go 70. So they've got a great stable of weapons.
I think last year you limited them to like 20 points, maybe something like that. What were some of the things you remember that worked for you last year?
20?
I think it was 20 or 13. Okay, well it was 13. But anyway, the bottom line is you did a good job against them. What are some of the things you remember from last year that
We
worked?
played well as a team. It's a hostile environment. We managed the game well, complemented each other. There's turnovers on both sides of the ball, 3 and outs on both sides of the ball. Guys were really resilient. It was a slugfest, street match. Great players on both sides just slugging it out. So in a great atmosphere.
Did one area play better though for you than another? Did one area really excel on your defense for you?
We forced turnovers that, ran one back to the 3, set up a score. Losing their quarterback was probably a factor in the game. Let's face it, but we knew it in preparation. When Trickett came in, he throws their lone touchdown pass on a 3rd and forever. So he's a talented young guy. But again, I just thought our guys played really tough-minded and physical. And again, we made a few more big plays than they did.
Your thoughts on Manuel as a passer?
It's good. He's gotten better each year. This will be the 3rd year that we faced him, and he's got a big arm. Can throw great velocity and throw it forever, and throws the short and intermediate balls with great accuracy, and they do a good job in their play action game. Getting guys protecting things up and getting guys opportunities to double move and get you to have bad eyes and lack of discipline and get over the top of you as well.
And yet, this is probably the first time you'll see a quarterback probably use his legs against Clemson defense this season, which is one of the reasons why you're here. Clemson's not had a recent history of success against running quarterbacks. Do you do anything different? Do you prepare different tweak to your scheme, or?
I think there's probably moments during the course of the game that you're doing certain things that way. You got to maintain good rush lanes. The thing about a guy like him, like a guy like a Vince Young or a Jake Locker, if you face both those guys, sometimes the worst thing you can do is cover everybody, and then they pull it down and make big plays that way. So. I don't think we'll have any problem with that, not covering people. Go guys. Anybody ought to be mad about it, ought to be me. But yeah, it's a big weapon, and I think they're smart, and he's well schooled, and he's mature enough to understand when it's not there, not to force it, and to utilize those strengths. So we certainly got to be aware of it.
May I ask why Rashard Hall hasn't played as much as he did the first 3 years he was?
I don't know what he did or didn't do the first 3 years. Brewer had kind of earned his way by being more consistent in what we were asking him to do. But Rashard's played more and more each week. I think his whatever the proverbial rust, he's knocking it off. Hadn't played in quite a while. And it's one thing to have your head in the playbook and watching film. You got to go out and actually do it. So, Brewer probably, he had 3 months of work, drill work, and practice ahead of Rashard. So, why? That's maybe just a little bit better, more consistent. At the beginning of the year.
Do you expect that?
I think I've seen a trend where he's played more and more, and we're finding ways we got to get him more involved.
I mean, he's been a productive tackler, and he's also been a playmaker.
Right. I recognize that. So you got to go out and practice well. And again, he's come in and he's done some good things, and he's come in and done some not so good things. But he's in a long line of guys that have been right there. So I think he's getting more and more comfortable. You'll see him along with some other guys out there all contributing, because it's going to take everybody. We're not real deep.
Florida State hasn't won the ACC since 2005, but do you get a sense that you're facing a team that might be on the cusp of returning to that past glory?
They're really good. They're better than they were a year ago. Just my evaluation. I think just sometimes just because you're a year older and mature doesn't make you a better team. And but it just looks like they've got more playmakers. You know, a more mature group of skill players, and you know, really still a relatively young offensive line that's very talented, that's playing at a high level, and again, to complement their offense is a great defense as well. Mark's done a terrific job, and they've gotten better each year that he's been there, and that's not surprising. But they've got, you know, as good of players as there is anywhere in the country on both sides of the ball, but they're coaching them really well, and that's what you see from them right now is a mature team that is playing with purpose and knows what they're doing, and is very aggressive in their approach on both sides of the ball.
Their run game improvement simply a function of Manuel and Thompson being healthy, or are they doing different things there?
I don't know. I think they've been productive when they've been healthy. I think that goes without saying, and I just think they're blocking better. You know, with probably some better players, and they've continued to improve in their recruiting and development. And sometimes, you know, that just doesn't happen overnight. I'm not sure how many years Coach Fisher's been there. Maybe fourth year, 3 years, 4 years. But you've seen marked improvement each year, so it's not surprising to see, you know, the level that they're playing at. And then again, they're successful throwing the ball as well. So I think they're running past a combination of, you know, we're enabling both sides or both phases to you know, higher execution and better results.
Differentiate what you've seen out of some of their receivers?
Just they're explosive, they're fast, they catch the ball well. They know how to get open. I mean, they do a great job of attacking you. Very aggressive in their approach. They're not the, you know, nickel and dime, you know, throwing operations that you see a lot of teams have this day and age. They're going to come early and often and try to go over the top.
What did you see out of Stewart in the second half?
I was happy to see him go out and have some success. I don't know, wasn't part of the recruitment, and certainly wasn't part of you know, the injury and all the things that go along with that. There's a lot of pain and suffering, both mentally and physically, that go along with that. And it's not an easy thing to overcome once, let alone twice. And I was glad to see him have an opportunity to go out and play and make some plays. And you know, the more he plays, the better he'll get. And he's got a long ways to go. But you know, to see him go out and have some success, you know, in the end, by the end of the year, is going to pay off for us.
I know you say you try to treat every opponent the same in terms of preparation, but do you sleep less during weeks like this with an opponent like Florida State?
No, I just get more excited when you wake up. You know, I don't have any problem sleeping. You know, you get kind of into your routine, and you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to get too excited too soon. And again, you have to have a consistent approach and process in how you prepare and hopefully play well. And so you don't want to deviate too much. But again, what's at stake and the challenge of the opponent, you know, the excitement about going on the road. There's a lot of other, you know, factors that kind of go along with it, but you can't allow it to, you know, lose your focus or you know, take you again out of your mindset in regards to your preparation. So that's kind of your message to not only yourself but certainly your players.
Tools-wise, what is, sorry if you addressed this earlier, but what does Manuel bring to the table, and where is he in his development?
He's just big, strong, good decision maker. He's fast and athletic, knows when to throw it, where to throw it, recognizes coverages, pressures, knows where his outlet, good extension of the coaching staff, good leader for him, got a good physical and mental presence to him, and he's a great competitor. So he's a winner. And the team follows him and takes his, you know, follows his lead.
You talk about Tony's development again. The next step for him being comfortable with where he's supposed to be?
Oh, sure. Yeah. He hadn't hardly played. You know, hadn't played at all. You know, let alone he had to start over. He was a true freshman. He learned a new system. let alone all the injury things and lack of experience. You know, he might as well just got out of Clemson as far as I look at it. But where does he go? I would expect, you know, improvement along the way with some minor setbacks. Like, again, that maturation, every guy's different, you know, and it's a process, you know. Sometimes it, you know, they're, you know, played a first-round draft pick, you know, within their first year, and other times it takes them, you know, 3 years, and sometimes it doesn't happen at all. Maybe sometimes they're just a good college player, and they never become a quote-unquote superstar. So, you know, I don't know, I can't really predict, but, you know, he's a great kid, loves to play the game, great humility, doesn't mind working, you can coach him hard. And he has a good perspective of where he is and what he needs to get better at. He doesn't have this you know, he's not over impressed with himself, if you will. So, you know, he's got a good perspective on things that allows him to grow.
Could Christian's performance last week give you the latitude maybe to play blanks in the slot a little bit more and maybe experiment a little bit there since, you know, Quanda's team has stepped up last week?
I think it helps us just overall at that position. You know, competition does, you know, wonderful things, and you can make guys, you know, run, make them go extra study hall, punish them all kinds of ways, but nothing like playing time, and they'll grab their attention real quick. So again, and it's not you know, as much as, hey, you know, we're going to recognize your performance if you're not performing well. If we have other better options or another option, you better be on alert. So again, yeah, it gives you more flexibility. The more playmakers you have, the more guys that are capable and ready to play. Hopefully, if their skill set allows them to play multiple positions, you're allowed to do so. So that'll be something that we look at.
3 games in, like, how would you rate them?
It's good and bad, I don't know. No, not where I want it to be, not where he wants it to be. I've loved his attitude. I've loved the signs that he's shown. He's capable of being a great player. And the more he plays, the more comfortable. Again, he's a true freshman last year, didn't play a whole lot. So he's going to play like a freshman last year. Then he has to come back and start completely over and really regress in some, you know, areas where he was mentally, which is the biggest hurdle that any player's got to overcome. It's the mental part of the game, and just being able to, you know, digest everything and then play on instinct along within the defense. So there's so many little things that, you know, with game experience, you know, I wish he had another experienced player within the system to help him. Now, you know, when you're at a place for a long time and you play a young player, usually you can tandem him up with an older guy that, because of his experience in your system, can help him along. And right now we're not able to do that. So that just, you know, that's just part of the gig. So I'm excited about him. I'm you know, happy that we have him. He's going to be a great player, and you know, and I say that only because of his attitude, his work ethic, and again, he's got ability, you know, high-end ability.
All set. Thank you.